and also post on Facebook and Google. So again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Influencer Marketing webinar. And today you'll learn how to partner with influencers to market your brand and grow your business. Presenters, myself, John B. Yang, founder and CEO of Digital Synergy, executive director of AABRN. Moderator is Jang. And any questions that you have, post on the chat and we will answer as we go. We have Ellie again, special guest. She will introduce herself in a minute here. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute here. And thank you to all our partners. Elevate Hennepin, Chinese Chamber of Commerce, AABRN, Digital Synergy, and Asian Media Access. Again, this cohort is sponsored by Elevate Hennepin. It's to support entrepreneurs and small businesses in Hennepin County. Any questions, you can access the link to the website on our presentation. We will make the presentation available on our website. And one important thing is the incentive for this program. If you are a Hennepin County business, you can apply for a grant application, which will cover up to $1,500 and 75% of the eligible hardware and software expenses. So definitely make sure you take advantage of the incentive that's being offered by the county. And any questions, again, let us know halfway in between. If you need a 5-minute break, we can take a 5-minute break. And I will let Ellie take over from here.
Okay, thank you so much, John. Hi, everyone. My name is Ellie Mariga. I'm a social media strategist and an influencer, fashion specifically. But I don't like to limit myself. This is my third time presenting in front of you, and some of you may know me, some of you may not, so I'll run through things, but I'll kind of keep it short. So I have been on Instagram, really the last year is when I started taking it seriously. I probably started maybe the year before that. But I put together a strategy, which if you've heard me say this, I've said it on my last two calls, the 3 threes is one of the best strategies you can do when it comes to determining how you want to show up as a brand, and specifically how you want to show up online. It's your 3 content pillars. So for me, fashion, health and wellness, lifestyle. 3 adjectives you want people to feel when they come to your page, and 3 of your core values. And in doing that, I was able to grow by 95,000 followers in less than a year. So that's kind of my story with Instagram. I absolutely love it. And for what we're talking about today, Instagram is the most relevant platform. I'll share some stats about why it's one of the best platforms for influencer marketing. I also have a blog and I shared some ebooks I've done. There's many different ways as a business that you can have source of revenue. I don't know what everybody's background is or what your business is. But I know from the last 2 times we had some people who were doing consulting or coaching. So with those types of businesses, putting your blog together, doing an ebook, there's really that it positions you as a thought leader in your space, which is only going to help create more credibility for your potential customers. All right, let's get into today's lesson. We are going to be going over what is influencer marketing, 3 mistakes I see brands making often. We're going to talk about how to identify influencers, how to approach them. You don't just come up on somebody you don't know in the wrong way. We'll do legal considerations and we will do a demo. Definitely would recommend taking notes during this one. I know this is recorded and everything, but since you're here, I recommend taking notes, listening to the things I'm saying. I tried to put as much text in the PowerPoint because I know, some people might not have been able to be here tonight, but hopefully this will cover everything that you need to know to get you started in influencer marketing. So what is influencer marketing? I wanted to be strategic here. So I said, let me read. This is a definition from HubSpot, which is a very well-known, they are everything when it relates to influencers, everything related to marketing. A lot of enterprises use their products in order to do CRM or to manage influencers or just to run their different marketing campaigns and paid social. So it's a huge website that I think any business should have access to. So HubSpot defines influencer marketing as a strategic collaboration with influencers, often known for their expertise, credibility, and popularity within a specific niche promote products or services to their audience. Okay. Sean Godin, I really like this quote. He said, "People do not buy goods or services. They buy relationships, stories, and magic," which is what influencers can help you as a brand do. All right. So by 2025, this is just to kind of explain the importance of influencer marketing and where it's going. It started out in 2016 is when they got their first like billion as an industry, right? And now 2025, by 2025, so not even 10 years later, it's going to be worth $24 billion. Instagram is the #1 influencer marketing platform. And I want to go over, so 83% of consumers claim to have discovered new products using Instagram. Video content is going to drive most of the traffic in 2024 and beyond. And this is really great if you're a business that is, now I do recommend you learn how to create your own content, right? And but if you're just not the best at it, or it's just not a strong suit, having influencers that you work with, that can be a way to just have content for your page. That particular content is known as what's called UGC content. It's user-generated content. It is typically cheaper because you're not asking the influencer to post on their own channel. So you're not accessing that influencer's audience. So that's definitely a way to go about it. I have also had companies, so I worked with one company, Pause Shop, as a influencer just on their payroll. So they paid me an hourly rate, and my job was to edit videos, but also create videos. So they would send me products. So that's another like creative way, just depending on what your budget is, to partner with influencers. Here's an example of the leading platform. So I mentioned Instagram, right, is the #1 place to do this. They've got 72% of marketers using Instagram. Facebook is actually at 52%. That number should surprise me because I definitely thought TikTok with the TikTok shop, I thought they would take over. But I will say, given how long YouTube has been around, the fact that TikTok came and took over by like almost twice the amount of YouTube is impressive. TikTok Shop is another great platform. Again, it's not as big as Instagram and not even Facebook, but I think it's definitely on its way. These numbers are from last year. I feel like every time I log on to TikTok, there's another shop, like get this product, get that product. And a lot of brands that you may not even realize are on there. I know Revolve is like a really popular, like mid-tier luxury clothing brand. They have their clothes on TikTok Shop. So it's not just for smaller, like lesser known brands. A lot of brands are gravitating to TikTok. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up taking over. Influencer marketing is more authentic. It's less intrusive. And that's something we'll talk about when we get into like what you want to talk with the influencer about. It's really important. And let me just say, that's my other computer, but you really want to make sure that you're not pushing the influencer to be inauthentic with their audience, because the whole point of this is that people want to buy stuff from their friends, right? Influencer marketing is basically the digital version of word of mouth. So it's very authentic. We don't want to mess that up. This is about finding the right influencers to partner with so that it's a win-win situation, right? It's a collaboration. That's how I always think about it. Hence why they call it collaborations. But it is believed by 89% of marketers to be better than traditional marketing channels. And I need to close this dialog box. I don't know what to do with my mouse. It always vanishes. Okay, there we go. Oh, uh-oh. What happened? I think I may have closed out of the PowerPoint. Give me 1 second. Let me open it back up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can we everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Benefits for businesses, cost effective, targeted reach, right? So if you do an ad campaign that you're not able to be super specific with, maybe this is an interesting example. I wish I actually brought up this page, but this is an example of how specific influencers can get. You may have an influencer who is maybe you're a video game store, right? And you have an influencer who is got 20, 30,000 followers and they love Dungeons and Dragons, right? Or Halo or whatever the video game is. That is 20, 30,000 people who are there just for that one game. That is so much more powerful than if you went and, partner with an influencer who has 1 million followers, right? Because that is 20, 30,000 people, it's a captive audience. That's how I like to say it. It's a captive audience, not just targeted, but captive audience. And then enhance credibility and trust. So because they trust this influencer, that trust is transferred to you. Now, you still want to make sure your profile page looks good because they're going to want to click on your page when the influencer is talking about you. So you want to make sure your website, your profile page are up. What's the correct way to say it? That they're up to date, that they look chic and nice and clean. But working with influencers can do a lot to grow your business exponentially. I want to go over any questions before I move on about just influencer marketing in general? Okay. The biggest mistakes, there's 3 of them that I see businesses making in influencer marketing. Reaching out to any and every influencer. I have had companies reach out to me and ask me to promote. So I typically do fashion, like I said, health and wellness and lifestyle. But my lifestyle content, I don't do so much. It's really fashion is my main thing. But I'll have companies reach out to me and they ask me to promote. I'm trying to think of the craziest thing I've been asked to promote where I was like, this is nowhere near my brand. Oh man, what was it? It was some sort of like it was like a furniture store or something, which, I don't really have a lot of lifestyle content. Like I said, if I had a lot of like, here's what my day in the life or, here's how I decorate my office, I could see it, but I don't share that. That's not the lifestyle content that I share. I share more like dating life and relationships. So it just felt so far off for me and my audience because my audience expects fashion, health and wellness, and my personal like dating life. They're not really expecting furniture, for example. So just, be careful with that, not setting expectations. This is where it's funny to me because I think in relationships in general, whether whether it's romantic, professional, platonic, expectations, any kind of misunderstanding is usually comes down to unmet expectations. Right. So I'll have some brands, like I'm talking with a brand now to be their new influencer marketing manager. And they are asking me, how would you handle when an influencer doesn't perform, right? When you agree to things and then it just doesn't happen. And I was like, hey, well, we got to figure out where was that misunderstanding with the expectation. I do see something in the chat. Is that a question?
Yes, it is. The question is, how do I find an experienced influencer who understands and interacts with people in charge of their company's trade show programs? Particularly those who do over 25 trade shows each year, both national and regional. So it looks like this is more of a trade show type influencer question.
Yeah. It's a very specific question. I will go over how to identify influencers. So we'll get there. So we'll hold your question. We'll come back to it when we talk about identifying influencers. Okay. Only targeting big influencers. And I imagine with what you're doing too with the trade shows, it may be a smaller influencer that you might, I don't know if you already looked at it, but you might be overlooking them because they don't have a certain number. But we will get into how to identify them. So I want to go over reaching out to any and every influencer. Like I said, this is not just about followers, it is about brand alignment. So you want to make sure that you and this influencer, they share your values when you look at their content. Even your aesthetic could be important, right? Or they have the ability to create things in your aesthetic. Some questions are, does their content align with our brand values? What is their engagement like? It's not just about followers. You can see an influencer who has, this actually is a real life story. There's a guy who DM'd me and he has like 1.4 million followers. And I was like, he's verified and everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like who is this person like messaging me? What, you know, they're like, I really like your content. I'm like, what do you want? Like, and because I that's just me in my head. But I went to his page, and even though he had 1.4 million followers, his likes on his recent posts were extremely low, like in the hundreds. And to have that many followers, I mean, you should at least be hitting 10,000, 15,000 likes, for example. So the engagement is what's really important. It's not setting expectations. This is necessary as a business owner in every aspect of what you do, especially if you have a team. So influencer, they're part of your team at this point, right? When you're working with them, they're a contractor, if you will. So you need to think of them as part of your team while they're working with you. Yeah, like I said, very important to avoid confusion, leads to a smoother experience and a better outcome for both parties involved. And setting expectations, that might look like outlining the number of deliverables you expect. So deliverables, that would be, oh, we would like 2 photos, or we would like 1 reel posted to Instagram that's cross-posted to TikTok. Those are examples of deliverables. Clearly stating what you will offer in exchange. Are you offering money? What's the amount of money? Are you offering a product? Are you doing an affiliate program where it's a percentage of whatever sales are a result of your collaboration? Having a brand guideline or an example document of what you're looking for. And again, I'll show you examples of these when we get to the demo part of this presentation. I just thought it might be a little difficult to be hopping in and out. So I've put everything together to kind of go through it first, and then we'll do some demoing. Only targeting big influencers. I really wanted to go over the numbers with this one. It says there are 4 types of influencers. Nano influencers, 1,000, 10,000 to 10,000 followers. Micro influencers, 10,000 to 100,000. Macro, 100,000 to 1 million. And mega or celebrity influencers with over 1 million followers. If you can imagine, I don't know if you all know this, but Lionel Messi is the most followed person on Instagram. He has 600 million followers. Okay. And right below him is Cristiano Ronaldo with almost about the same. So they're pretty close to each other, but that would be like a celebrity mega influencer. Most brands, like I said, they're only looking to target that macro and mega. So something over 100,000, but micro and nano influencers make up 91% of the influencer market. So here's some reasons why you should consider targeting micro influencers. They charge lower rates. So this is kind of an example of what the price range would be based on platform, right? Instagram, $100 to $500 a post, 200 to 1,000 a video on YouTube, TikTok, 25 to 125 a video, and so on. And of course, every influencer, that's one of the, I think, downsides to this industry. It's not like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with podcasting, but podcasting is pretty straightforward. $25 per 1,000 downloads, right, of that episode. That's kind of the base for setting your price with a company when you're a podcast. But influencer marketing, there is still no real standard. Some rules that I've just heard through the grapevine from other influencers is they might do $500 per 10,000 followers, right? But again, every influencer has their own price. So take this as a guide, not as a rule. I did see something else pop up in the chat.
Yep. So we got a question. How affordable? You see, sharing the cost. I wonder how affordable for my business. Looks like Mitchell. What type of business do you run? I know it's a consulting business, right? So he's just kind of commenting, thanks for sharing the cost, and he's just kind of wondering how much it will cost
Um,
for his type of business industry when it comes to consulting, right?
Consulting. What does he consult on? What type of consulting? I just wonder how, yeah, because if it's something, well, let me see. I see he responded, or
Okay,
maybe
so he's saying it's strategic planning, facilitation,
strategic planning and facilitation for enterprises, I
right?
imagine.
B2B, yeah.
So finding an influencer, and this is an interesting question because this kind of reminds me of the same question with the trade show. You might have to get a little bit creative. I'm going to answer the trade show question because I think I have an answer for them now, and then we'll come back to it later as well. And I'm going to answer the strategic consulting question as well. So trade show question, the best way to find that influencer right now might be if you're going to those trade shows and networking and seeing who's there. Being at these events, that is one way to find influencers. So if you're already there, talk to people. And it might be, I think, especially with your two businesses, it might be that your influencer is on LinkedIn. I know it's not on here, but LinkedIn could be the way to go because that is where a lot of the business influencers reside. And I said this on another call, but I'll say it again here because I don't know who was there or not. On LinkedIn, 1% of the audio of the followers or of the users, 1% of the users on LinkedIn account for 99% of the content on LinkedIn. So if it's trade show, if it's strategic consulting, facilitation, you're doing B2B, your best bet might be to do LinkedIn and find people who have a lot of followers on LinkedIn and have built an audience in that space. Like there are, famous, or I would say, yeah, like influencer marketers. I work in marketing. So there's influencer marketers on LinkedIn who are promoting different products through their platform. Or they have a email list, right? That you could really get partner with them to market to their email list, to be featured in their newsletter. So there are different ways to be creative with this. I still consider that to be under influencer marketing. There was one other thing I was gonna say. I think it's about being creative too. So I'm trying to think strategic alliances, facilitation, B2B. In my mind, I'm thinking like, what industry, like who is someone who would be like another role in that would be relevant, or who is someone who is like a business and finance um guru, right, on Instagram or on TikTok. Maybe they're the one that you partner with and they have a email list, right, or a huge audience, and they're like, because I'm thinking about it from a marketing perspective, but there are social media manager influencers, right? So people whose whole purpose is to market to social media managers or to marketing professionals. So finding out what is that title or what is that person, right? Who's that going to be? Is it a business guru? Is it a project manager, right? Influencers, or someone who is influencing and targeting project managers. So you just have to kind of think and be creative. But does that help? Is that answering your question?
So we got a question here. What are your thoughts about turning customers into influencers? But no, that makes sense. I think that's a good question too. I was kind of playing around with ChatGPT and they do come up with they do list who to contact in terms of these different industries.
Mhm.
And then you can also Google and see what they do as well. So because a lot of these people we may not know, but they had huge followers, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Or even looking at your competitors and seeing if who are they partnering with? That's another, because if you have a better product and we'll talk about legal considerations and everything later, but if that influencer, you partner with them and they like your product better, that looks a lot better. That looks really good for you. So I would even say, yeah, look at your competitors and see who to partner with.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's a lot of
And then
different ways to do it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I'm just going back to Mitch's question. He's saying, what are your thoughts of turning customers into influencers? So can you clarify that, Mitchell?
Well, I think I understand what he's saying because we like in the marketing world, we call them brand evangelists. So we don't call them influencers, but they are customers who love your product so much that they become influencers. The way that I've seen that work, I don't know if you're familiar with Morning Brew. If you're in business, finance, you're entrepreneur, Morning Brew is a fantastic newsletter. And then for, I would say, women in business as well, the Newsette is another really good one. Both of those are successful newsletters. Newsette specifically started in 2021, and their subscriber list is almost at 1 million in just this short, what's that, 2 years, 2.5 years. And what they have is both of those have a referral network at the bottom where, hey, if you refer one person, you get a mug, or you refer 5 people, you get a t-shirt, you refer 10 people. That would be the way that I would turn customers into not necessarily influencers because they might not want to be online. Excuse me, but that would be the way that I would try to turn them into brand evangelists where they're going around promoting your product. And then if you want to tap into those customers who are comfortable being online, I would, Fabletics does this. Fabletics and really a lot of other companies. Fabletics does it, Shein does it. They create a specific hashtag and they tell their customers when they purchase something, hey, use this hashtag for a chance to be featured on our channel. So when you post something, I think it's my Fabletics, right? Always use that hashtag, and that's where they go to see customers who have posted content. Is that helpful?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, and I hope that answered the question, but I thought that's kind of what you were getting at, which is a great question. Let me see, other reasons, yeah, tend to have higher engagement rate. So smaller influencers, higher engagement rate, more intimate relationship with their followers. Tech Jury says micro influencers have an engagement rate of 6% on average, as opposed to the 1.97% of mega influencers. And if you think about it, I mean, it's really hard for a mega influencer, especially with the way the algorithms work, because Reels, TikTok, their algorithms are designed to get you a newer audience. So if they're posting Reels a lot as mega influencers, might be hard to connect with their current audience at a rate that a micro influencer can. And this just came out with Instagram. So yeah, Reels going to be used for reaching a new audience. If you're looking to engage with your current audience, that's going to be carousel post, stories, individual post. That's really what's going to get you the level going live. That's going to get you the level of engagement. There's a business out in LA, the Plus Bus. They are a boutique. It's like a secondhand, like luxury-esque plus size fashion store, and they go live every Wednesday and showcase their clothes. And that is something that their followers know them for. More targeted niche audience. I've kind of already mentioned those things, but yeah, more targeted niche audience. Easier to reach a very specific and curated audience for your products. So how to find your next influencer. We'll go over specific software in the demo, but I will go over this process. And I say feel free, as if you're able to walk through it as I'm talking about it, feel free to open up Google or open up Instagram and give it a try. But yeah, 3 main ways is going to be searching on social media, doing a Google search, and then influencer marketing platforms. And there's no rule that says you only have to use one, right? So if you're looking for something specific, then try all 3. Searching on social media, this is going to be your easiest and cheapest method. This looks like getting on Instagram. And again, we'll demo this after we go through the presentation, but this looks like getting on Instagram and literally typing in what you're looking for. So I typed in life coach, and this is everybody that came up. Or you type in plus size fashion, life coach in Minnesota, right? Or life coach Minneapolis. Go even deeper. And you can do this with hashtags as well. So I searched, hashtag Minneapolis influencer. More than 1,000 posts came up. So that's probably, it's less than 5,000. If you know how Instagram works, they'll do fewer than 100 to 1,000. If they say 1,000 plus, it's somewhere between 1,000 and 5,000 posts by people who are using that hashtag Minneapolis influencer. excuse me. So you might try searching, hashtag strategic planning, or hashtag trade show and industry. Another way that might be effective for that is a Google search. So this is similar to your search on social media, but it gives you access to all these platforms at once instead of doing Instagram and then TikTok, which again, I would still do both. There's not one, you never know what the Google search will turn up and what TikTok will turn up because they have different algorithms. So I still recommend doing both. And I'll just kind of show this because, yeah, this is how you do it, but I'll show it instead. So you would type site, and you're supposed to put a colon, actually, site colon Instagram.com, and then type in Minnesota fashion influencer or whatever that phrase is that you want to type in. And that's going to give you a list. So I did that and it brought up, look, they've got 19,000, 150,000. Isaiah is a influencer marketing platform. I'm not super familiar with it, but I do know about it. So that is one. And they have a whole list right here. This is top Minnesota influencers. So this was just through doing a Google search. And your last thing, this is going to help. Influencer marketing platforms may be not, I won't say the best method, but they're going to be a really good method for you because most platforms, it's not just influencer discovery. There's so much more than influencer discovery. They're going to also allow you to manage them, track what the efforts of the influencers, or how many sales resulted with this influencer. What were the analytics on this post that the influencer did? Because sometimes it can be hard to get that information from an influencer. It's a lot of back and forth sometimes just because you are doing this over email. If you do it with the platform, and I'll show you, like I said, I'll show you a few. I'll show you Aspire, Paid, LTK, Modash is a new one that I just discovered today, but I did like it. Grin, Journey, there's a lot of different influencer marketing platforms. The Isaiah one that I showed you, Sprout Social, HubSpot, all of those also have influencer marketing platform components. So we'll go over those in the demo, but that's just an example of some that you can use. And there's different ones if you're going to do affiliate programs as well. How to approach influencers. This is really important because I feel like I've been on both sides. So one thing I didn't go over is that I also do marketing for State Farm. And we've worked with influencers like Wisdom and Miss Christine. And I don't think we did what I was talking to one of my counterparts, maybe Mr. Beast, but that was a while ago. But I've been on both sides. I know what it's like to pitch and I know what it's like to receive. And I'll show you some of the best practices ones and some of the not so good practices ones. But there's two ways to get in touch with influencers pretty much. That's going to be DMs or emails or in person, which I didn't put on here, but you never know if you're someone who likes networking, going out, start really getting to know people. And this is not part of the presentation, but I'll go into it really quickly because I meet people all the time who I had no idea that they were, this on Instagram, or people will meet me. I don't talk about my socials and they're like, I had no idea that you had this many followers on Instagram. It's not something I really lead with because we're not there for that. We're here to talk and get to know each other. And my brother, he is what I would consider a master networker. He knows a lot of people in Nashville. That he's built a community there in the last 10 years. But one thing he said to me is, you are there to really get to build a relationship and genuinely get to know this person because you want to work. People like to work with people they like. If you know of the Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people. If you're a fan of that book tells you immediately people like to work with people that they like. So when you go out and you're networking, you're trying to get to know, whether it's at this trade show or even if it's on LinkedIn, you want to try to form a genuine connection and just understand who is this person first, and then see about working together. So that's really the way to approach it. Crafting your correspondence to influencers, personalize the message. And there are ways to make this a template, and you add in one line, similar to how you might do for a cover letter. If you're applying to multiple jobs, you have your base message. And then you might have that one paragraph, it's usually like the second paragraph is what's recommended, but you have the second paragraph, and that's where you put your personalized message for that business. Highlight benefits of the partnership, clearly outline the expectations, and consider including a PDF or PowerPoint. And I'm going to show you examples of both of those where two brands I work with, I thought they just did a fantastic job of that. Ask for their rate or make your offer. So legal considerations, and we're about to get into demoing really soon, but legal considerations here. It is very important to note that the FTC has started to really in the last like 3 years, they really started to take this seriously because they've seen how big the industry has become. So similar to a company, for example, disclosure, right? If you're like on the commercials, I remember all the disclosures they used to read in a really fast voice. So not that influencers have to go crazy with their disclosures, but they do have to use hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored. And it has to be usually like right at the beginning. Some videos I've seen, this happened to me with the collaboration. I had done everything. I put the hashtag, unshackled partner, and I put the caption, I put hashtag sponsor, like I did all of that. I used the paid partnership label, and Instagram still took the video down. Now I realized later, because I talked with the company, I was like, I don't know what happened. Like we talked about everything, it should have been fine. I haven't seen a lot of influencers do this, but they are kind of allowing, like requiring you to do a text overlay in the video somewhere where it says hashtag ad or some sort of overlay that lets people know this is a sponsored post. I think that's like, I'm not going to tell you not to do it because that is the require. I realized the video got taken down because I put it in my stories and I didn't put hashtag ad in my stories. So not because of the video not having the overlay. But that is, if you're a brand, just to be on the safe side, that's definitely something I would require an influencer to put somewhere in the video. It has to be hard to miss. Influencers cannot talk about something they haven't tried. And if they don't like it, they're not allowed to say they love it. Okay. I've had brands try to do that. I gave them an honest review. I gave them a 7 out of 10. And they were like, oh, could you just cut this part out? And I was like, well, that feels disingenuous. So yes, those are some things to consider. And then just from a tax perspective, if you're going to be working with the influencer and they're receiving more than $600 from your company, you need to get them to fill out a W-9 so that you will send them a 1099 by January of the following year. Okay. Any questions there? And I think what's next is, yeah, here's more info about it, about both of them. The links are, I don't know if I need to will the links work in the PowerPoint? Because you're going to share the PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yes, it will work. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the links to learn more about the FTC guidelines as well as W-9s and 1099s. Any questions before we start doing some demoing?
No questions.
Okay. We're going to go over identifying influencers, reaching out to them, and management, because that's the real key. The company I'm talking to now, to be their influencer marketing manager, they're wanting me to manage like 300 influencers a week. And, I asked them about their system and they're doing micro influencers. So I asked them about their system. I asked them about what is the process that you have already set up, and they don't have one. And so I was like, well, hey, maybe we can build to this point, but managing 300 influencers from the beginning, given your current system, it's not going to be feasible, right? So really having a process together is very important too. So project management is the key here as well. So we'll go over that. Let's get started then. Let me exit out of here. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Oh, go ahead.
Just a quick question, sorry, a late question. Is the FTC required for the influencer or the business owner?
Well, it's on both sides because do you mean if you're posting on your channel? No, it's not to you if you're posting on your channel. So it is on the influencer side. Sorry, I misunderstood the question, but it's on the influencer side. So if you're working with them, it is your job to make sure that they are following the FTC guidelines, just so you don't have any issues. But it would be on the influencer in that case, on their side. If you're posting just on your normal business channel, you're fine.
Got
And
it. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, because it's a given that you're promoting, right? Because your business page, they'll like Instagram already has things set up for that to be known, and same with TikTok. All right, let's get into the demoing. So I wanted to start with the identifying, and we could try, because I'd love to hear some businesses people have, and we can see what that's gonna look like. If I just searched, I don't know, the strategic consulting. I'm like, did I get that right? Is that what you said? Strategic consulting?
Yes.
I would be curious to see what pops up for strategic consulting. So these are all different things. It looks like business, but you're looking for businesses who are looking for strategic consulting. Let's see, unlock. Who's somebody that's got something? I don't see any videos on here. The really interesting thing is if there's a business looking for, this is my strategy mind coming through, but if there's a business looking for strategic consulting, the fact that there are no videos on this page, you might be able to own this hashtag if you did videos about strategic consulting. Let's see. So this is the company. I'm wondering who are your typical clients? Like who uses strategic consulting? Because that's what I would want to search for. Would it be, because I don't understand that industry enough, but who would be like, what does a ideal client for you look like? And you can come off of video, like not, well, I can't see you if you do video, but you can come off of your mic.
So Mitchell says government agencies, nonprofit organizations. He said his mic isn't working well.
Okay.
So just reading from a chat.
So I wonder if I could do like Minnesota, and I don't know if you're trying to be local or not, but Minnesota nonprofits. So there's a Minnesota Council of Nonprofits. So I would maybe reach out to them and let them know what you're doing. I mean, I'm kind of getting into more like client acquisition here, but I think that might be the way to go. And then you can see who are the people that's following them, what businesses are interested in what they have to say. This is where you could get, I mean, potential influencers, but even just clients. So I would search for clients because they're interested in hearing what this business has to say about as a nonprofit. Government agency. I mean, that could be, I feel like that's too broad to bring up who we would want to bring up.
Would you want to search for a person?
I don't know. Well, I don't know who would be if there's like a, what do you mean?
Yeah, because I'm kind of using AI to identify who the influencers for strategic consulting. So
What
I
does it
have like a
say?
list of people. Maybe type in Michael E. Porter.
Michael E. Porter. Let's see. This is a great way. I didn't think about doing a chat GPT demo here. Is this, we don't know which Michael B. Porter? Michael, you said Michael B or Michael E?
Michael E. as an echo.
Okay, so this is who popped up. There were a couple people who popped up with this name. Can you ask ChatGPT to give us their socials?
Okay, let's see, Michael.
That way we can make sure we're finding the right person.
But I
And
believe that is the person, yeah.
that's the person.
Because I did a search as well.
Okay. So this would be the potential influencers, what you're saying, for strategic consulting. So economist, researcher, author, advisor, speaker, and teacher. Oh, he's been featured in Harvard Business School. So does this, I mean, is this helpful as we're going through this? And I love the idea of using ChatGPT for this too. That was such a great call, John. Let's see. So he's got different videos. What are we saying in the chat? Who else shows up for strategic consulting?
The second person is Clayton M. Christensen. Um,
Christensen.
so it's Christensen.
Clayton Christensen. Oh, that can't be him. I don't think so.
He's a professor at Harvard Business School.
And it's not Clayton Mech Christensen. In that case, I might just Google him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, and you
Clayton,
can probably just search on Google as well. I'm pretty sure they'll find some influencer.
American academic and business professional. Here we go. Let's see.
Check.
So he's got his own website. Again, I'm just looking. So you're on the website, and then here are all his socials. Okay, so he's not on Instagram, but he is on LinkedIn. Oh, this page doesn't exist. Let's try Facebook. 21,000 followers on Facebook. Here is an influencer for you. He's also on Twitter. He's got his own website. And I think given just the nature of what he does, I wonder if he has his own email list as well. Because email lists, if you could get featured, like sponsor one of his newsletters or email or something, that would be a great way that's an even better way to reach people. And I didn't talk about it much in this presentation, but the more I keep talking about email, the more I'm like, this is actually a great, it's a great way. It's a great type of influencer to partner with as well. Someone who has a lot of a huge email list and a lot of blog subscribers, not just limited to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. There is, let's see, and then depending on if you have a visual business, I would consider partnering with Pinterest influencers as well. So Isabel Diaz, she has 3 million monthly views on her Pinterest, 81,000 followers. I mean, and this is all not all that she posts, but everything she posts essentially leads people back to her blog where her products are. So top 10 feel-good, moves that will change your life. 10 simple wellness tips. These are the type of articles that she writes. So someone who is, on Pinterest and they're doing well, if you, like I said, if you have a visual business, or in this case, coaching, because that's what she does is coaching, looking for someone who's done well on Pinterest could be a good idea too. So those are the ways I would look for someone. Again, I don't know what, I want to see about this trade show one. Yours are like challenges for me. So I'm like, ooh, what would this look like? What industry are you in with the trade shows? And you feel free to throw out, we can workshop here. This is what this time is for.
So for the trade show, he sets up trade shows.
You set up trade shows. What industry? Or for
I think it could be in any industry, any type of trade shows.
So would that kind of fall under, in that case, I might look up event planners, like corporate event planners, or even there is, what is it called? Momentum.
I'm sorry, correction. He sells display for trade shows.
Sells display for trade shows. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Trade show. I wonder if there's a million posts that have the hashtag trade show. That's a lot. But I'm curious to see, would you sell it so if you sell displays, and I'm trying to understand your business so I can, help. If you're selling displays, are you selling them to the business that's going to the trade show, or you're selling them to the company that's putting on the trade show? Because if it's the business, I would find out what industries have. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say they sell to exhibitors. They design and provide lightweight portable display to larger companies with lots of events. To lots of events.
So how to find an influencer for this? Okay, I'm thinking on the influencer part. Customer acquisition part, I would look at the top 10. Like, even if, John, if you could ask Chat GPT, like top 10 businesses that put on trade, or top 10 industries that put on trade shows in the US. If you ask Chat GPT that, let's see what they say. But I would start there. And those are the types of businesses that I would target. And you can use Instagram as well to find those businesses. Why not DM those businesses through Instagram, or find their email on their website, reach out to them, do a cold pitch, start where you live even. But that would be from a customer acquisition. From a influencer standpoint, that's a little bit harder because it's extremely niche. And I don't know. Did you put that in Chat GPT, John?
Yeah, so I put in top 10 industry that puts on trade shows in the US. It just kind of listed me the different industry, right? Like technology and electronics. The trade shows like Consumer Electronics shows in Las Vegas highlight the latest innovation in consumer electronics. So it just kind of listing the different trade shows, not the people who are or the companies who's part of it.
If
Um,
we could ask the follow-up question of what are companies, right? If it so for this industry, what are the lists of companies that put on a trade show? Like, we know, I don't know if that would be considered a trade show, but like for in my industry, for example, like BravoCon, we've sponsored things with BravoCon, so they have that's their trade show. I might even consider, I don't know if I would consider Comic-Con like a trade show, but a little bit in that realm because they still have people displaying things. So if you ask it the influencers, what does it say?
um,
And like I said, other people put in your business as well, and we can workshop it to see if this is even feasible, right? Because as I'm talking about the trade show, it's like, I would reach out to the businesses who are going to these trade shows, but I can't think of off the top of my head what would an influencer for that look like? And that influencer might exist, but this isn't the way to find them. This might be something that might be the type of influencers who's found on an influencer marketing platform. And a lot of influencers do sign up for those things, and we'll go over some of them. Excuse me. I'm
mhm.
signed up, for example, for like somewhere between 10 and 15 influencer marketing platforms. There's so many. Um, what does it say, John?
So it's just telling me some of the social media influencers and bloggers, um, podcaster, tech commentators, corporate executives, and thought leaders, um, and emerging tech creators. So they're just ChatGPT just kind of telling to look for influencers in that niche. So it's more like
It's
it's
prescriptive.
not giving like particular company or person.
But you know what it
But
did? Yeah, so it did help though, because it mentioned podcast and blogger. So if you that's why I was like trade show blogger, or trade show blog. So these are different exhibit, well, let's see, trade show advice, trade show network, beginner's guide to trade show marketing. I'm just pulling up a way to do this. But if that event, so the first thing I would do is what we do with ChatGPT, what are the industries that are doing trade shows? What are those companies doing trade shows? What are the names of those trade shows that they do? And then
right.
I would look up the name, I would see who previous speakers at these trade shows. I would also look up whether or not that trade show had a podcast. Like, that's becoming very popular. Like, yeah, I don't know if you like have seen with like a lot of television shows where they're like, look at our companion podcast to go along with this show. So that's becoming increasingly popular. So see if the trade show had a podcast or a radio show, or they like that's kind of where I would start to get the customers. I guess I kind of focus on the customers here, but even in doing that, you might find influencers. People who spoke the previous year could be an influencer for the different products, or you could look at the businesses who went the previous year. So I would imagine that they have a directory for these events, right? Or for the businesses who attend. And if you can get that list of businesses, then you could offer one business, say, like find someone who had like a business that has a following. And you could even try to partner with them, say, hey, you know, I'll give you a discount on these products or for your trade show. If you really like them, would you, and this might be more grassroots influencing in this case, but they could post something on their page, post on their stories about it while they're at the trade show. You could also make sure that they have a card or flyers or a QR code that would link people to your website if they ask about the display. So that could be your agreement with that business. In this case, it would be like a business acting as the influencer. But that's maybe the way I would go about that. Is that helpful? I'm very much focused on making sure these are productive and actually meaningful for you. So let me know if there are other questions. John, have I missed any questions in the chat?
No, the only other comment is just the target audience is our marketing executives in charge of their company trade show schedule, and they already know about 30,000 plus trade shows worldwide, and they're looking to connect with the trade show coordinator for each company.
Trade show executive magazine. What's this? Oh, go away. So this page, 13,000 followers. Oh, they're based here in Chicago. Interesting. How do I get rid of this message? Oh, okay. Go away. Trade show executive magazine, tools for trade show event executives. Again, I'm getting away from the topic of today, but this is another avenue. Could you advertise in this magazine, right, to reach that audience? I would also make sure, I think even just starting with your page on LinkedIn and on, I would say Instagram and LinkedIn might be, or even Facebook, but Instagram and LinkedIn might be the best places for you, LinkedIn more so, but starting to build your brand as a business on LinkedIn, that will attract people to you. And I think that might be the way to go for something this niche. Again, you could try the influencer marketing platforms because I don't know that, I mean, they have access to influencers of all types. That was the story I wanted to tell y'all. There's an influencer who he started out going to hotels and taking naps, and he would review the hotel, the beds, right? And he's got like 50,000 followers, but he's done partnerships with St. Regis and Waldorf and all these amazing hotels because his audience is so niche. So I would say start out with building your brand, getting your content out there, getting your business out there. And I think the influencers will find you. That might be, again, that's just, there's different ways to go about it, but that's another idea. Any other questions? Yeah, I wish I could have got some results for you today, but yeah, I don't know. Trade show. Minnesota. And these are just different trade shows, it looks like, in Minnesota. But again, like looking at these and yeah, if you knew a trade show was coming up, even partnering with that convention center and saying, hey, I'd love to offer any trade show attendee 15, 20% off their order, you know, if they're coming to this trade show. So that's another idea, but I've got ideas for days. I think it's just going to depend on what the strategy, which strategy is going to be effective for you. And that's going to come through trial and error, unfortunately.
Right. And I think also looking at trade show speakers, because each trade show they will have their own influencer speakers at these events, right? So maybe work with them in partnership with them.
Yeah, the speakers, the event venue itself, getting that list of people who have been, the list of businesses and list of speakers from the previous year for whatever that trade show is. But yeah, that's where I would start, is get a huge list of trade shows, maybe in your area first. and start talking to those people, because those are people you could potentially go and see and get if they don't have the list online, you can ask them, hey, are you able to share the list of businesses, the list of speakers from the last year? Okay. So those are some ways to find influencers. I already kind of showed you the different way with just using Google, but you can do this with any platform. I don't know of a huge like trade show website, because maybe you could even search that website using this formula on Google. Excuse me. But in terms of getting back to the influencer side of it, there are influencer marketing platforms as well. Aspire is one such platform. This is a platform that I'm signed up on as an influencer. It allows influencers to discover businesses. So I've had different partnerships through them, but this is a way that influencers can discover businesses. So even just being on here, and their pricing is based on the level of access that you want. Do you just want discovery? Do you want discovery and management? So they have different levels, but that would be one such platform as Aspire. Another one, this is a new one I came across, Modash. I'm actually going to sign up for it because it's very interesting to me. But it's a new one I literally came across the other day. But it's similar to Aspire. You can analyze, track, do everything through here. Any influencer platform just about is going to have, they're going to have some sort of tracking, like discovery, tracking, and managing, because it just benefits them to have all those services on one platform. So you can take down a list of these names. Hashtag paid is another one. Again, a lot of creators are using this one. Grin, I've seen a lot of small, if you're like a small e-commerce business, I've seen a lot of small e-commerce businesses use Grin. That seems to be their platform of choice. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. These all are just a little bit different. It's just going to depend on your industry and which interface you feel is better. There are some niche platforms. So I don't know if you're familiar with LTK. So LTK, their niche is specifically fashion, beauty, jewelry. Yeah, fashion, beauty, jewelry, anything in the fashion and beauty industry. So that's kind of what their niche is as a influencer marketing platform. But again, yeah, they have discovery on here. It's a way for brands to if you're working with influencers and you want them to be able to share your products, even just being on here would work. Because if you give them a gift or something, then they can always add it to their LTK shop. Journey, if you are a local hotel or you offer like just a local experience, any sort of like cruises or not quite like Airbnb experiences, but anything related to travel and it's local, so hotel, if it's like a tour guide or there's a certain like when I was in Portugal, we did this day tour to Sintra. Journey is a platform specifically for that. This is where I got a partnership through Virgin Voyages, was using this platform. They are newer, but they're getting a lot of travel influencers signed up on their platform. And with them, the terms are pretty much set in stone. So whatever you lay out, the influencer either accepts or doesn't accept. There's not a lot of room for negotiation. Social ladder, this is again another one. I've not used this one. I'm not familiar with it. I think as you've seen, every platform has said they're the number one influencer marketing platform. That can't be true for all of them. So again, this one looks to be more mobile friendly for a business. So I would even just say, give this one a look. Are there any questions on influencer marketing platform? Like I said, there's so many. It's just going to be a matter of, these are the ones that I'm most familiar with. This is going to be a matter though of seeing what works best for you in terms of discovery. And they do offer, a lot of them offer demos for businesses. So I would, reach out to them, get that demo and tell them what your business is and ask them point blank, Do you have influencers in this industry? Any questions? No.
No
Okay.
questions.
Okay. I wanted to go over outreach. So what are the best ways to reach out to influencers? Not so great ways to reach out to influencers. We're going to start with the don'ts. Okay, this is what you do not do. And these are emails that I've gotten. I'm just going to share them with you. The paid partnership with fixed fees and commissions from Lash View Lashes. And I'll tell you what they did wrong to me, as like why I was kind of like, I don't know about this. Say, hello, dear. Wow, I can't take my eyes away when I see your wonderful videos. I really like your videos, including your unique and creative videos. So flattery is great. I do think it's a great way to start an email, but they didn't really say anything specific. It was very general. They do have the same name as me, though. It said, I'm Ellie from Brand Lash View. We specialize in making eyelash products. Our company's had a history of more than 10 years. It's very professional making lashes. You can trust our products completely. That immediately made me not trust them because it's a very large claim to make. It's very extreme. And I also see that they're talking a lot about them, and they haven't really made an offer. They said some very vague things about my content, which lets me know that they don't actually know about my content. And then they just start talking a lot about them. So said, let's introduce our popular product. When worn, it feels like it's a blend with real lashes. It's really comfortable. Stem thickness, all these kind of technical things. Only 3 steps to complete it. They said, we sincerely want to cooperate with you. Christmas is coming. It's our biggest brand event. I'm sure your fans will really love our eyelash products, which I don't do a lot of beauty. So again, to make that claim that they're so sure that my audience will love it, knowing that I don't do beauty, that again makes me kind of question, the validity of this, and also whether or not it's someone that I would want to work with, have a partnership with. They said, we would like to ask you, what is the lowest price you can accept for the cooperation? Not the best way to start. I mean, how would you all feel about this? I want to know, like, hands raised, who would accept this collaboration, or what are we seeing that's wrong with this? Let me see some things in the chat, or come
I
off your mic.
think I think just sending it to multiple people is not professional, because then you get to see who they're sending it to, and you know who those influencers are too. Um, so it could be
Yeah,
a private thing too,
I
right?
didn't even notice that, John. They did. You're so right. Look, they did. They did send it. My manager said I got these from him, but they did send it to multiple people and tried to make it seem personalized.
And it doesn't seem as right as personalized, because it says hello dear, but you're sending it to like 50 people, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? What are some things we're noticing? And can you all see it well? Is it readable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds almost like it's AI written, or like it's not doesn't sound like it has proper um language, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of, we think this and we do this and we like, it's when you're pitching to somebody, and this might just be my like negotiation brain, my business brain, but the question, or just marketing in general, every time I'm getting together for my 9 to 5 with State Farm, every time I am getting together a communication, I'm always thinking, like, who is my audience and what is in it for them? Because that's what they care about. And it's unfortunate maybe in some cases, but they really do care about what is in it for them. So if I were going to do this, I might start the email with, like, maybe you compliment them on their content, who they are, you make your offer, and then after that I might talk about, here's who we are as a brand. I see something in the comment, John. What does that say?
It says extremely flattery raises question about the sender.
Yeah, it was a little, they laid it on a little too thick. The you can trust us completely got me. That one was the one I was like, all right, okay, never mind. So that's one example. This one, again, my manager forwarded this to me. Right here, this was kind of a red flag with the email. Now, some I do know, like some companies, you don't have your official like at company name email, so I don't discount all of them. But this one said, Dear Gorgeous, we hope this letter finds you well. We're writing to inquire about the possibility of a formal collaboration between you and Dion. The first thing I noticed in this email before I even read it, so I noticed the email with the Gmail. So I'm like putting that in my mind, okay, put a pin there. And the second thing I noticed, no links at all, which means I have no way of even like learning more about this company if I were interested. So as a brand manager, we believe that our brand or your beauty would complement each other well, and that this partnership would provide great benefits for both of our companies. Propose you become official brand ambassador, representing our brand, promoting our products. In return, we're willing to offer free exclusive items. What you have to do in exchange is take a photo with the products and earn £500 for a paid collaboration. Once you're part of the event, you'll have the £600 sign-on, but it's not very clear either what their offer is. So it's like you said you'll give me free items for a photo, £500, but then there's a £600 sign-on bonus. What does that mean? And then there's $15 commission as well. So this one's really confusing. And again, like I said, for me, I would probably ignore it because the first thing was the email, and the second thing was there were no links at all. There's no official, like, if you're gonna be reaching out to influencers, make sure your signature has your title, your name. You can have your brand logo, your website, like have some sort of social proof so they're able to inquire and find out more about you. If you're using email, if you're using DMs, make sure that your Instagram profile looks legitimate. Even if you don't have a lot of followers, have things posted, have your bio complete, have a profile photo, have your highlights done, right? Anything anybody's noticing with this one? I kind of pointed out, but is there anything else I missed? No. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about brands who did it well, so you can see what to do. This was from Rebdolls, and even brands that I know, because I'm familiar with Rebdolls, so that kind of piqued my interest because I do know them as a brand, being in my space. And for influencers who are about their business and they are committed to their niche, their space, they're gonna know a lot of brands in that space. So this brand I knew, which for me was like, okay, first green flag, let's keep reading. I saw that her email address, knowing this is kind of, I would still consider them like a maybe medium-sized business, small to medium-sized business. Email address, another green flag. They use my name here. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Send it to just me. John, thanks for calling out earlier, right? They sent it just to me. They said, hi, Ellie. I hope you're having a great week. I know we're both excited about the Rebdolls. Yeah, that part was a little bit, I probably wouldn't say that, but we're both excited about the Rebdolls holiday party collaboration we have going on. Wanted to personally reach out, let you know that we have our Rebdolls. Oh, no. Okay, this one, I worked on a holiday collaboration with them. So this was the second reach out, but their first email was pretty similar. So I wanted to personally reach out to let you know about our Rebdolls NYE campaign for the end of December. It's a gifted collaboration, would include 5 Rebdoll styles that align with New Year's resolutions. Each posting day, you would be featuring one item. This collaboration will include 15% commission on your referral order. I know all these styles will look amazing on you for NYE campaign. That's something I just would not recommend assuming. I think people think it sounds good, but it doesn't really sound good because it's like we haven't worked together. We don't really know each other. It feels very salesy to say something like that. But I'd love to share with your audience, provided a link. This for me was what sealed the deal, because this looked to me is what you want to do with your influencers every time. They told me what I would be getting in exchange for the 15% commission. They used my first name. they said, I provided a link to our Rebdolls NYE brief. So if you're able to put together either a PowerPoint, I've noticed a lot of brands using Canva and doing a public Canva. So this is what they sent me. This was their NYE campaign brief, and they had the structure here, which I did talk to them. So it's 15%, not 10%, 7 gifted products. So it's 5 outfits that had 7 pieces. They told you the dates that they wanted me to post. Since it was 5 outfits, they want me to post 5 different days. Excuse me. Can you hear that? Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the sound, but that was very loud. These are content ideas. There are 4 videos that are examples of the content that they are looking for. So really easy to follow. Okay, they sent more even, and then here's what you'll receive. So they sent me pictures with each of the pieces. So this is where the 7 pieces came into play. And then ideas and concepts. So this was about each outfit represented a goal for the new year. So they gave an example of, here's what we think you could do. And this is, it's a great way. It's really good to give influencers examples of what you're looking for, just so you can get the content, like what you would like. I mean, a lot of influencers, they are creative. They'll come up with their own concept, but they do need a direction just to make sure that you're happy with what they do. Because they might do something that they think is absolutely amazing, but if it's not in line with your brand, or it's not what you thought they would do, after, hey, I really looked at their channel. I love when they did this with this brand, but they didn't do that with me, right? You really want to communicate what you would like so that doesn't happen. And if you liked one of their videos, oh, I love this video that you did for this brand. I thought it was amazing. Could you do something similar for our brand? Say that. And then pointers, they just, don't want the video to be, 2 of them, they want it to be longer than 60 seconds. Film a minimum of 5 videos for the campaign, since it's going to be 1 for each outfit. They'll tell you certain things that you're not to say, or certain things that they want you to say. So they said, address the viewer directly, use terms like you and your to increase connection that you make. Make sure it's authentic, create voiceovers or original content. And a lot of brands, just to avoid issues with licensing, and that's another thing that I didn't actually put in the presentation, but with so as a creator, I'm able to use trending sounds that are copywritten because Instagram, they've made that available to creators. But as businesses, it's different. You have to use royalty-free music, or you have to pay for the rights to use that sound. Some businesses will use influencers to kind of get around that. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'll be honest, I've seen businesses do it, and maybe that's something the FTC has just not cracked down on yet, but I'll just leave that for you to do with what you will. But really getting them to create an original, like where they're just talking in front of the camera, a lot of brands go that route just to avoid any issues. And the influencer, they might, you could give them a link to the TikTok sound library or the Meta sound library. And I have access, for example, on my app that I use to edit InShot, they have a lot of royalty-free music on there. So that's what I'll use if I want to add something. But is this helpful? This is an example of how I would reach out to an influencer. And I have another one as well. But any questions so far? Are we all understanding? Is there anything that's not clear?
Yeah, no questions so far. And it makes sense to me, yeah. Hopefully as well.
Another one, this is from Torrid. I liked the structure of their email because I was immediately able to go to what they were asking and even compensation. And then I went back and read the beginning of the email. But like, hi, Ellie, I hope you're doing well. The campaign just popped off. And I thought you might be interested in participating. I'm looking for ambassadors to create testimonial style content for our Trio Jean launch. This is a paid campaign. The compensation and deliverables are below, and I will attach the brief to this email. So they want a photo and they want a TikTok video. So TikTok, I don't have as many followers, or the followers on TikTok kind of mean a little bit less, just given the algorithm. So wasn't really a big deal, this pricing. But they tell you they want a high quality testimonial style video featuring the jeans. See the brief, caption highlighting the product's key benefits, personal experience, and our brand values, minimum of 100 words. Excuse me. Mention our Instagram handle, include the campaign hashtag, include a link in bio or link tree to our website's product page for 30 days. Compensation $500 plus $300 gift card. The content is due at this time before 5 p.m. So they want the right to review the content before I actually post it. So that's the due date. And then it would go live these dates. Okay. So the brief that they sent, it was a simple one pager, and so the launch date, my point of contact if I had any questions, and then they explain the product. What is the Trio Gene? Why they love it? Content guidelines. So voiceover or speaking to the camera in real time is required. The video must speak it must answer the question, right? What is the Trio Gene? Why do you love it? Video must include footage of the creator actually trying on the pants. So these are ways in which, and this is especially necessary if you're going to be communicating via email and DMs majority of the time. There's only a few brands that I've gotten on a call with. Like I got on a call today with a brand. It's a new shoe company. They're promoting very inclusive sizing with their shoes, comfortable shoes. That were made with them, and the founder partnered with a podiatrist to make the shoes. So they wanted to get on a call to discuss what the partnership might look like. And, they actually have a store here in Chicago, so they want me to come in. So, it's very seldom that I get on a phone call. But so if I'm not going to get on a phone call, having a guideline like this, where everything is laid out, it just makes things so much easier. And it also, I would say it lowers the possibility of an influencer not following through. Because that is something, like I said, the company I was talking with about, I'm interviewing with them to be their influencer marketing manager. They said they were worried about influencers not following through. So there's some sort of breakdown of expectations, or there's something where the influencer no longer feels like this is they were excited about in the beginning. So why are they no longer excited? Where's that breakdown happening? And that could happen because, like, sometimes I get stumped for content ideas, and I'm like, man, this is going to be so much work than I thought it was going to be, because I can't think of an idea. I can't think of what to do. But having something like this where you're really guiding the influencer, one, it creates brand alignment. So you can make sure that what they create is going to be something that you can repost on your channel, exactly what you're looking for, something that represents your brand well. And like I said, it increases the possibility or the chances of them following through, the probability rather, that they will follow through. They tell you only our clothing can be in the video, high quality images, good lighting, et cetera, et cetera. They give you do speak to the audience, tell a story, do lean into trends when relevant, and then captions. So they'll captions, hashtags, handles that they want you to use. And then they gave 3 examples of the type of content they're looking for. And these examples were actually another brand. So Torrid copied off a Good American, but the examples they gave, I still understood what they were trying to achieve. Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. If we're getting into managing, I showed you a lot of influencer marketing platforms like the Aspire, Modash. I'll go back up here. Aspire, Modash, hashtag paid. Again, Grin is really good for e-commerce, smaller e-commerce brands. But all of these platforms, every single one of them has a discovery management and tracking aspect. Influencers have to, if they're going to sign up on these platforms, they have to connect their Instagram their TikTok, whatever platform they have that they want to be considered be considered for with partnerships, they have to connect it with the platform. So the platform has access to their analytics, has access to our profile information. You know, we give away a lot of data on these to be on these platforms, but that helps you as the business because you're able to understand how is this collaboration going, right? What are the benefits? So this is just an example. This is actually that a similar campaign. It wasn't the same one, but it was with Torrid, and this is through Aspire. So this is what the contract would look like in Aspire. So they've laid out the concept, like here's what it's for. One reel on my Instagram. Content concept, talking points, video guidelines, caption guidelines, post instruction, content approval, the due date. So let's see, free product line, content usage rights. So this is something I do tend to negotiate. A lot of brands, and this is more so me from a influencer side, but a lot of brands do ask for rights in perpetuity. I don't think that to me is kind of an ethical issue, but that's personal, I guess. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing to ask for rights in perpetuity of a person of what they're doing, of a video that they make. So I usually limit things with, it depends on the brand, but with Torrid, I limited things to a 1-year license. So anytime within 1 year, they can repost my video if they would like. But that doesn't include like whitelisting, which is where you would like run ads on the influencer's video. So that's a whole different ball game. But yeah, content agreement and then Instagram insights. So authorize my insights. And so that's what this would look like. I would submit it for approval, and I'll put the link and everything. And unless there's any issue, like unless there's any issues, then everything is good. Creator marketplace. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what a creator sees in Aspire. And I'm using Aspire because they're one of my favorite platforms. It's very easy to use. And this is not loading. Let's see if I can refresh this. Uh-oh. Any questions while I'm pulling this up? And I want to ask too, am I on the right track with what you all came to learn today? Is this what you thought you were going to be learning today? I want to make sure there's alignment there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for me. I was kind of looking to influencer where a lot of websites they require the influencer to leave some type of review, right? And then I'm guessing that particular business can post that review or promote
Yeah,
that product, right?
you just
Basically.
made me, you made me think about another platform, Tom. Sorry, go ahead. I'll pull
Oh
this
no,
up.
that's what I wanted to just add.
So Coley, this is a platform for a lot of UGC. So if you're wanting to work, like I said, with nano or micro influencers, and you don't want them to post on their pages, really just people you're getting to create, different people to create videos for you. Coley is another really good one. And I've used this one for more UGC, but they do also have on here where brands will request written text review, no compensation beyond product. So they're literally just looking for reviews on their page. Let's see, required to leave a review within 7 days. Okay, submit my answer, yes. So this is an example of another platform just looking for reviews on their product, and looks like they're only doing a product exchange, but everything on here is outlined, do's and don'ts, compensation, and Coley has all of these set up for you to easily fill out on your end and for the influencer to see. Excuse me. Yeah, a lot of product reviews, visual assets, UGC. So this just means you don't want them to post it to their channel. You just want the video content so you can post it to your channel. Influencer, that's where you want them to post it to their channel. I see, did something pop up in the question in the chat box?
No.
Okay, I thought it was something new. But yeah, product reviews. So a lot of product reviews on here, a lot of visual assets with just UGC, and the influencer looks pretty good as well. So it looks pretty even today, but this does vary with their platform. But this is another platform that you can use to get your product out there. The next thing I want to talk about are any questions with managing. We can look at some other different platforms, but any questions just around managing influencers? How many of you think you're actually like in a space to partner with influencers? Because it might not be for everybody. It might not be useful to everybody, depending on what your industry is and just the nature of your business. But how many of you are thinking of actually partnering with influencers? I wish there was like a hand raise button. Teams has
No,
that hand raiser.
okay, so we got one person. Mitch is thinking about probably third quarter this year to look for influencer. But for myself, I can kind of speak on that too.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I feel like, bringing in all these experts like yourself is kind of like an influencer for my business, right? Well, for what I offer for my services too. So I feel that is one way of kind of get influence, right? When I share and when I run my ads, I'm promoting you that, Ellie is a influencer brand strategist with over 200K or 175,000 followers, right? So that's a form of influencer. Is what is that's what I feel that I'm kind of already promoting. But for sure, I think if you can have influencer to collaborate with you on webinars, podcasts, that helps a lot too.
Yeah, I do actually. That's a really great idea. So, depending on what your business is, hosting events, and that is something that brands will do. I mean, I guess again, the challenge here is like finding those influencers to invite out. But that's a way to, if let's say you come across 10, or I would even say more like 20, 30 influencers, and you're not really sure which one you want to partner with, well, inviting all of them to come to an event that you put on. And this is, I don't know what everybody's budget is, but Philosophy, the skincare company, they had an event in Chicago and they invited, it was like 25, 30 influencers to the event. They shared their brand story, why they do what they do. They shared the science behind their skincare, and they had like a little demo station where you could try out different products, and they gave away little goodie bags. So that they didn't partner with one particular influencer, but that was a way to, one, make their brand known to more people, because I did not know any of this about Philosophy. I wasn't before that an active user of Philosophy. But I did do content, right? So I did pictures and I did videos, with the products, because I was just really excited to be there and trying out. I was just sharing my experience about what I learned while I was there. So depending on what your budget is, that's another great idea, is having an event, even if it's online, some sort of online event where people can come and learn more about your brand. Potential influencers can come and learn more about your brand. I think that's a great idea.
Mhm. And then we got Karen's saying that she is looking for a partner for influencer, and I believe her business is in agile consulting.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm rather looking to partner as an influencer. I mean, I've done a few as I have social media followings of over 50,000
Mm-hmm.
across all my social media platforms. So I'm rather looking for partners to be an influencer.
For you to be the influencer, right?
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, platforms like Coley, Aspire, and I don't know why Aspire is not working right now, but I was really trying to pull it up because they do have, and I'll try again with their creator marketplace, but they have a lot of just a huge variety of brands. Yeah, it looks like their website's down for some reason right now. And I think this happened last time, John, with the internet. It's something about being on Zoom that might affect my internet. I think we talked about. I don't remember. Maybe that's what you said before, but
Yeah, there's a
um,
fire. Mhm.
yeah, that could be why. Hashtag paid. If you're looking to be an influencer yourself, hashtag paid. Another thing as well, on your website, if you're going to have some sort of affiliate program or something, this is what I recommend. This is the company that I'm interviewing with right now. I realized that I don't know how they're managing their influencers. They're using Monday. So when I'm talking about project, they're literally using a project management software to manage all their influencers. But I don't know if things like Monday, Airtable, they're not robust enough. Like they use it, I think, specifically just to track payments to influencers. And that can alone can be, a lot. So going with a platform that has all in one, I think is really going to be the best long term. But for example, this company, Rep Dolls, on the bottom, they have right here Rep Dolls collabs, Rep Dolls affiliates. A lot of influencers know to look at the bottom of your page or wherever you keep usually it's in the footers where it's usually found, but wherever you keep your menu, like a lot of times that's where they're going to go and try to see, do you have an affiliate program? Do you have any collaboration program available? So I would definitely make sure you have it there. They're also, I believe it's Cider on their Instagram. I'm just pulling up different examples. Cider, shop cider. So this business, they have, yeah, Cider Gang. So you can go here and learn from their Instagram what it would take to be a part of their affiliate program and how it works. And yeah,
Okay,
it's not loading.
thank you.
But yeah, those are just different platforms to help you discover. I don't know if you're doing just agile consulting, but if you ever doing like, a day where somebody's working with you, day in the life or watch me work today or like something like that. LTK, I mean, Walmart, Target, Amazon, they're all on there as well. So even though their focus is mostly fashion and beauty influencers who use it, if you're doing anything like day in the life, home style, home, decor-esque, LTK would be another platform for that.
Okay, so we do more of certification trainings, mentorship, coaching, apprenticeship, um, kind of services,
Mhm.
practical, but focusing on agile project management.
So you want to be an influencer for the software that you use?
Yeah, for different things. So I have already done some for the software. I've done some for to advertise other people's training
Mhm.
courses. So those are the ones I've done so far. I've actually done one for CoverGirl Foundation.
Oh, very cool. That's amazing.
So I'm just looking for more because I'm just actually diving into this space of
Mhm.
influencing. So I think that's really one of the reasons why I connected to this training.
Okay. And I would even follow up with CoverGirl and just let them know, like, here's some of my latest content. I really enjoyed partnering with you, yeah, at this time, and I would love to have another partnership. Like I would reach out to them, and that's something that just kind of having my ear to the ground in the creator world. That's something I've seen a lot of creators talking about is like this year reaching out to brands is going to be a lot more important than waiting for them to come to you. So don't wait for the brand to come to you. And do you have a media kit?
No, I don't think so. I don't have that.
Let me pull it up. So a media kit, just open up my Canva. This is a one pager. And let me find it. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. And you can see I have multiple iterations of my media kit because there's 28 pages. I keep it all in the same design. But a media kit, this is a one pager. So if you're on the business side, if an influencer reaches out to you and they say my media kit is attached, this is usually what they're talking about. It's a one-page document that has your metrics. And where's my, looking for the button to zoom in. Why can't I zoom in? There's usually a zoom in button, but anyway. So it's like a one-pager that describes who you are. You can say some of your like most recent work. So what are your like recent wins? And then I put my followers, so 71% US based, my monthly reach, like how many accounts am I reaching each month? I target primarily businesses whose audiences are women. So that seemed like an important thing to call out. And then my average engagement rate and my following on each platform, each of the main platforms that I'm using. And then you can see my contact information, location, and my ad down at the bottom. So this is what a media kit is. So yeah, if somebody sends you this, it's going to be like their recent wins and like a highlight of their channel. Some include their rates. You can include your rates if you want to. I just, for me, it's kind of a case-by-case basis. So I don't like to include rates because I just want to see like, what are they, what are we going to be offering? How big is the business? All those things kind of matter in determining a rate for a business for me.
You mind sharing your template or
Yeah, I
example?
definitely can. I mean, in Canva, you might find something that you like more. Let me see if I can, let me do this really quick. I will do a copy of this. Okay, and I'm just gonna, oh, put for me. But what was I gonna say? Canva has public, and I'll just, these are like, I mean, I've been using this for the last couple of years, so these are old. But you can see all the different iterations that I've had. Some of my media kits were 2 pages. I decided that eventually like 1 page made the most sense. But there's different, structure that I've had throughout in the last few months, really. Let's see. Okay. So I will share this link in the chat. So public view link, here we go. And I think you should be able to, and you can try now if you want, but this should be able to, you should be able to go to the template on Canva, and you can let me know if that works or not. Oh, brand
Yeah.
template. No, that's for me.
All
But
right, thank you.
you're welcome. I think oh, template link. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Sorry. This is the right link, actually. Template link. Okay. And Canva has, if you go to Canva, if you decide maybe the content, because your content is always going to inform on your structure when it comes to design. So maybe this is, I don't know if this content fits what you're doing. So you can just go to Canva and type in media kit. And they have, I mean, these are all the templates that they have that you could use for your media kit. Yeah. Let me see. Any other questions? I think the last thing I'll talk about is, while we're waiting on questions, is just different affiliate platforms. I've been trying to, this is Rebdolls' affiliate platform. I don't know, like, I don't actually know the name of this one, so I was actually trying to find it before the call, but Impact is another affiliate marketing platform. So if you are going to work with an influencer and you're like similar to what Rebdolls did, hey, we all for every sale that's made, we'll give you 15% or we'll give you 10% of the total amount of that sale. So these are platforms that allow you to do that. Impact is a really popular one. I think Canva uses Impact, CurvySense uses Impact. This one, Buzzbassador, this is similar to the one Rebdolls uses. And like I said, I know like smaller e-commerce businesses use this one for affiliate marketing. So this would be a platform where you can manage your influencers, manage the sales, payout, all of that through their platform. So that's kind of the last thing I would go over. That's the FTC disclosures. I just opened up more of those. Okay, that's the guy we're talking about. But yeah, that's all I have to present. Any questions? Yeah, anybody else have anything they want to talk about or want me to help them think through? And it does, I know we're here for influencing, but since we have some extra time, I taught the content creation and the social media management courses as well. So anything related to content, social media management, or influencer marketing, what questions do you have?
I'm checking the chat room, nothing yet.
Okay. And you can come off of your mic too. I want this to be, I like for these to be interactive. I'm here to help you level up your business in any way that you can, and specifically through social media. So any questions about that, let's talk about it. And I think, okay, that's the inbox. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I guess I since there's no question, I do have a question for myself. Like, when do you know if you're ready for an influencer? Should you try running ads and also try an influencer to see what works best? Because if, for example, if someone's trying to sell a product or a service, right? You have an option to just kind of take on that project yourself, or you can find an influencer to help you. Um, is there a certain point in time with a certain business to know when you're ready to partner and find influencers?
Oh, that's a good question. So immediately I'm thinking one thing you said, I don't think it's whether you should do paid ads or influencer marketing. You can definitely do both at the same time. There's not, it's not either or in that case. You can do both and. But when it comes to influencer marketing, it's really going to depend on where you are as a business and what's your strategy. So, for example, there's a pet company that I'm working with, and we just started working together. It's a new pet company, but they're getting ready to launch different products like harnesses, collars, and leashes. So they want influencer marketing to be a huge part of their strategy, but they're also doing paid marketing. So they've made it both and. And so what we're going to be doing is getting their social set up and start looking for influencers that they can just do product exchange with. So I guess the answer to the question would be it does come down to budget in a way, right? So if you're able to do, I would say if paid social probably will give you more immediate results in terms of customers, but influencer marketing is going to give you longer term results in terms of brand evangelist, credibility as a brand. So they serve two different purposes. So I would say with the influencer marketing, it's hard to say a specific time, but I think if you have a certain like a physical product, I would say if you have a physical product, something that can be easily exchanged, that might be a good time to start influencer marketing if you're able to do that just from the beginning. I think it is a little bit harder with digital products. Not impossible, but it's cooler when the influencer has something tangible, and that also gives you a currency to use. So even if you have a small marketing budget, you can still work with influencers, get content for your socials, build your audience, build your credibility through those influencers. So that was a long answer, but did it answer your question?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Thank you.
I always hate the
Anyone
it
else?
depends answer, but it does in fact depend.
Anyone else? And and when you get to that point or when you're ready, feel free to reach out to us as well. Maybe you don't have questions now, but if you get to that stage where you feel like you need to look into partnering with influencer to help market your product or services, feel free to reach out to myself or Ellie as well. Maybe we can open up the contact us information, Ellie, and just kind of let them see your email and
You want to tell about the next couple webinars too?
yeah, so the next webinar, so this is a number 6, influencer marketing. Next one is going to be social media and SEO integration. So I'm probably going to teach that myself where, learning about the search engines for the social media part, like for example, Facebook has their own algorithm and search engine, right? How can you tap into keywords so that people can find you, find your product or services on the search engines, and also how that integrates with Google, right? Because when you search on Google, you'll see profiles ranking on top page of Google. How does that work? So I'll be going into detail into how you can integrate that with your social media. And then the last one will be emerging technology. So we'll be talking about AI technologies and other technology tools to help with social media. So two more classes, two more workshops left, and hopefully you all can join us for that. And again, like I said, if you have any questions with Ellie, she will be available to help as well. She's very knowledgeable with content creation, social media management, and influencer marketing. And this is our contact information. Feel free to reach out to any one of us. And with that being said, any last minute closing, Ellie? Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Yeah, I know I don't have anything else to add, but really thank you so much, John, for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, entrepreneurs, business owners, definitely reach out. I'm happy to help.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.